Painesville welcomed the shutdown of Paribas Entertainment Center by state security institutions in connection with the ongoing investigation into the country's largest cocaine seizure case. National Transit Authority expected to commission 60 newly acquired vehicles to enhance the movement of citizens across Liberia. And away from home, Nigerian President Tinubu announces additional financial support for members of the armed forces battling growing security challenges across the country. This is the news bulletin's post or package on today's presentation of the program. Professor Stephen Talu and the news bulletin. Stephen, good evening.
Good evening, Oliver. The government of Liberia has announced that parents will no longer pay registration fees for children enrolling in public primary schools across the country. The new policy, which covers up pupils from kindergarten to sixth grade, is aimed at removing financial barriers that prevent some families from sending their children to school and increasing access to basic education ahead of the new academic year. Speaking during an interview on State Radio, Education Minister Dr. Jasu Jala said the decision reflects President Joseph Boakar's administration's commitment to make more accessible, affordable, and inclusive for all Liberians. Minister Jala stressed that the government will fully absorb the cost of the registration process, emphasizing that no public primary school has the authority to demand payment from parents before enrolling their children. She said the move is expected to boost school enrollment, ease the economic burden on struggling families, and ensure that children are not denied the opportunity to receive an education because of financial challenges. Dr. Jala further disclosed that the Ministry of Education will closely monitor schools across the country to ensure full compliance with the policy and guarantee that the free registration initiative benefits every eligible child. Several citizens across Painesville have welcomed the shutting down of private bar entertainment center by Liberian National Police and other security institutions in connection with the ongoing investigation into the country's largest cocaine seizure case. The reaction follows a police operation at a private bar entertainment center in the Joe Bar community, Painesville, after the owner of the establishment, George Harris, was linked to the over $370 million cocaine case discovered at Roberts International Airport. The power of private bar has been charged with several offenses, including drug trafficking, illegal possession of narcotics, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and money laundering. Speaking to Blaze News on Wednesday, August 5, several citizens praised the government's response, describing the investigation as a necessary step toward fighting drug trafficking and protecting the country from the effects of illegal drugs. The citizens are calling on the Boakai County administration to continue the investigation and ensure that all individuals connected to the drug trafficking are brought before the law, regardless of their status. Meanwhile, some pedestrians and community members have encouraged the owner of a private bar to cooperate with authorities by turning himself over to the Liberian National Police to address the allegations against him. Information Minister Jeremy Pierce says that the National Transit Authority will on Friday officially commission 60 new acquired vehicles purchased by the government of Liberia. Speaking at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing, Pierre disclosed that the new fleet includes 20 minibuses, 5 cargo trucks, and other vehicles aimed at improving public transportation and enhancing service delivery across the country. The Information Minister said the commissioning ceremony will be held at the NTA headquarters along the Japanese freeway with government officials and invited guests expected to attend. Minister PI revealed that when the Unity Party-led government took office, the NTA had only 5 buses, all of which were not operational. He said the acquisition of the new vehicles demonstrates the government's commitment to rebuilding the public transport sector and providing more reliable transportation services for citizens. Minister Pierre further announced plans by the government to expand its road infrastructure program, including the paving of additional city streets in several counties. The chairman of the Liberia People's Democratic Party, Moses Colley, has praised President Joseph Boakar's leadership, describing his administration as one of that promotes consultation and good governance. Speaking in an interview, Colley, who campaigned against the Unity Party during the 2023 elections, said the outcome of the election must be respected and acknowledged. President Boakar as Liberia's democratically elected leader. Collins said based on his experience in government, including the civil service, legislature, and executive branch, President Boakar has demonstrated leadership by consulting ministers and senior officials before making major decisions. The LPDP chairman said the administration's consultative approach shows commitment to effective governance and responsible public administration. Moses Colley also blamed internal disagreement within the Coalition for Democratic Change for the party's defeat in the 2023 general elections. According to Colley, division's lack of unity and the failure to include coalition partners in key government positions weakened the CDC and contributed to its loss at the polls. Former Mangibi County Senator Roland Khan has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to Mangibi County Coordinator in the office of Senator Emmanuel Nuke Vandi Kuma, demanding a retraction and public apology over allegations that King killed university students and young children. Speaking to journalists in an exclusive interview on Tuesday, August 4 can describe the statement as false and damaging, warning that the matter has already been turned over to his legal team for possible court action. The former senator accused Senator Emmanuel Nuke of engaging in what he called a political strategy ahead of the elections, claiming that the senator's leadership style has failed to meet the expectations of citizens of the county. Came for alleged that Senator Nugo instructed Vanden Kuma to attack his character, announcing that he is prepared to seek legal redress if the statements are not withdrawn within the given time framework. King also challenged the Mangibi County Senator's academic credentials, calling for a public debate on issues affecting the county, including the senator's leadership and development record. The Director General of the Civil Service Agency, Josiah Jokai, has announced that more than 200 people have already subscribed to the agency's newly launched monthly newsletters. Speaking Wednesday during the official launch of the CSA monthly newsletter at the Dr. C. William Allen Conference Room in Congo Town, Jokai said the publication will be distributed nationwide as part of efforts to improve communication and information sharing within Liberia's civil service sector. The CSA Director General said the newsletter will provide accurate and timely updates on the agency's activities, policies, reforms, and achievements of civil servants while promoting transparency and accountability. Jokai also emphasized the importance of collaboration with media institutions, noting that the newsletter will complement the work of journalists by providing reliable information about development within civil service. Meanwhile, President of the Press Union of Liberia, Julius Kanumba, urged the CSA to ensure that the publication reflects the agency's commitment to openness and good governance. Kaluma encouraged the Civil Service Agency to use the newsletter to highlight reforms, training opportunities, innovations, and best practices that will help civil servants learn from shared experiences and improve public service delivery. A concerned citizen of Nima County, Ernest Duato, is calling on the Nima Legislative Caucus and County Administration to reconsider the reported decision to allocate 10,000 United States dollars to each district representative for district sports activities. Speaking to Blaze FM, Dote acknowledged the importance of sports in promoting youth development, unity, and community engagement, but argued that Nima County's limited resources should focus on more urgent development challenges affecting residents. He said district sports competitions have traditionally survived through the support and contributions of citizens, local businesses, community leaders, and Nibans living at home and abroad, questioning the need to use public funds for the initiative. Duarte highlighted several pressing issues facing the county, including the shortage of a school desk, limited access to higher education and vocational training, inadequate healthcare services, poor road conditions, and difficult farmers face in transporting their agriculture products. The Nima citizen stressed that true development should be measured by investment that directly improve the lives of residents rather than the allocation of public resources to lawmakers. Residents of Zina Hill community along the GSA road are appealing for urgent government intervention to remove the body of an unidentified woman that has remained in the community for several days. Speaking to Blaze FM community chairman Salihu Sani Nyen said the body was discovered on Sunday after the woman, believed to have been mentally challenged, reportedly stopped in an area to rest before her death. Chairman Nyen said the matter was immediately reported to the Liberian National Police Zone 5 Depot, leading to a visit by the Office of the Criminal Investigation Division, who conducted a preliminary assessment and assured residents that the rescue team could be especially children currently on a school vacation to have risk. The GSA Rural Community Chairman is therefore urging the government and relevant authorities to act immediately by removing the body and addressing the situation before it creates further health and safety concerns in the community. And away from Liberia, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu announced his additional financial support for members of the armed forces battling growing security challenges across the country. The latest adjustment comes just weeks after the Defense Ministry increased the monthly salary of entry-level soldiers, with privates receiving an increase from about 36 to 73 US dollars. Under the new presidential intervention, the lowest ranking soldier will receive approximately $132 monthly starting in September. President Tinubu described the move as a demonstration of government's appreciation for troops working to confront threats from armed groups, including Islamist militants and criminal kidnapping gangs known as bandits. The salary increase forms part of broader efforts by the Nigerian government to strengthen the military and improve security operations nationwide. Blaze News.
Indeed, many thanks to Stephen Talu that for the news bulletin is a regular feature on this point. If you're just joining us, you're listening to 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. And stories will further on today's presentation of the program. Government of Liberia announces zero registration fees for children enrolling in public-private schools across the country. Several citizens across Painesville welcomed the shutting down of Paribas Entertainment Center by state security institutions in connection with the ongoing investigation into the country's largest cocaine seizures case. National Transit Authority expected to commission 60 newly acquired vehicles to enhance the movement of citizens across Liberia. And in Nigeria, Nigerian President Tinubu announces additional financial support for members of the armed forces battling growing security challenges across the country. This the news bulletin post or package on today's presentation of the program. We go strictly and bring in our first story. Several citizens across Painesville have welcomed the shutting down of Paribai Entertainment Center by the Liberia National Police and other security institutions in connection with the ongoing investigation into the country's largest cocaine seizure case. The reaction follows a police operation at Paribai Entertainment Center in the Joba community, Painesville, after the owner of the establishment, George Harris, was linked to the over US 317 million cocaine case discovered at the Roberts International Airport. Speaking to Blaze News on Wednesday, August 5, Sarah citizens praised the government's response, describing the investigation as a necessary step towards fighting drugs trafficking and protecting the country from the effects of illicit drugs.
I'm Pedro Prince Willow. For me, it's a good result for me because trust is not one person's fault. Trust is destroying with the youth and one see government people go step again. It's very, very happy to see they are one for government to do more and more because one person or two person cannot bring 300 million worth of jobs in Liberia. So I want the government to go far but for season Paribai, it's good. I'm very, very happy. And if he is found guilty, he should go to jail less than 50 years. I'm very shocked to learn that Paribai CEO here is in a 300 million worth of jobs.
It's not the first time bringing it, they're bringing the spot on brother and sister. So I'm highly happy for the jail take a step on this for our brother there. And also I want for the place to be closed. And sometimes in the night, you see all the drugs out at the back. I'm probably back, look at the other drinks. So some people don't even know they have to jail to be like a club. But I'm saying it inside. So I'm very thankful to what I tell you, also the police, the TA, and the person that we're able to see. That's kind of movement of drugs like in the country. What kind of drugs like in this country? I tell you, our country boy just say, so I'm happy to see Paribai close.
And in principle, I want to say I'm going to for the polar brand, at least who the poor people are on the street, we should benefit our resources, but we're not going to destroy our parents, sisters, tomorrow, and MV fitting. For me, I don't want to tell the police of the Nigerian people that they're all who are hard to look at the government, let the government do that way. They didn't want to get it fat, they didn't want how the final thing. If you be guilty, let it law till after again. If it is true that the government take its course, let the law take its course. And it should not be pick and choose in this process. As we learn, as we learn that Jojo Bwaka too was part of this process. Why is it that today police cannot go for Jojo Bwaka?
Several citizens across Painesville that welcoming the shutting down of Paribai Entertainment Center by the Liberia National Police and other security institutions in connection with the ongoing investigation into the country's largest cocaine seizures case. Information Minister Jeremy Pia says the National Transit Authority will on Friday officially commission 60 newly acquired vehicles purchased by the government of Liberia. Speaking at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing, Pia disclosed that the new fleet that includes 20 minibuses, 5 cargo trucks, and other vehicles aimed at improving public transportation, enhancing service delivered across the country. The information minister said the commissioning ceremony will be held at the NTA headquarters alongside the Japanese freeway, with government officials and invited guests expected to attend.
On Friday, the National Transit Authority at its facility on Japan Freeway, beginning at 10 a.m., will commission a fleet of newly purchased transport vehicles to provide safe, reliable, and efficient public transport services to the Liberian people. During that ceremony, MTA will commission 60 fleet of vehicles, 5 cargo trucks, and 20 minibuses. They were purchased by the government of Liberia to alleviate difficulties the public faces in commuting. It is important for you to just recall that just before the advent of this administration, that whole entity called NTA had just 5 non-functional buses. It may look simple as these pronouncements are made. Somebody may also argue, what are 60 buses and 60 mini or big buses and 20 mini buses and 5 cargo trucks to celebrate? Oh yes, it's going to celebrate because prior to now, the entity has 5 non-functional, old, struggling buses were the only assets of that entity. You are also aware that the national headquarters of that entity was intentionally set ablaze, whether to destroy evidence, to destroy document, whatever it was. Entity is building a modern administrative structure in addition to the fact that they've restored the operational efficiency of that entity. So that's why it's important. The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with its partners, today will begin a 3-day review conference in Liberia. The conference theme introducing universal health insurance in Liberia and financing quality maternal and newborn care for all will provide a strategic platform for key stakeholders to assess progress made in the health sector, address persistent challenges, and develop a forward-looking roadmap to strengthen Liberia's healthcare system. Madam Katumu Mbwaka, Her Excellency, who is the First Lady of the Republic, is expected to serve as the chief launcher of the conference, which will bring together government officials, healthcare professionals, development partners, civil society organizations, and representatives from Liberia's 15 counties. On Friday, the National
Minister Piat further announced plans by the government to expand its road infrastructure program, including the paving of additional city streets in several counties.
Of Public Works through its Minister, the Ministry of Public Works through its Minister, Lafayette Giddings, has announced that in the coming dry season, most of the alleyways opened in various communities in Monrovia will be paved, and such pavement activities will be extended to the county capitals of the rest of the county. The minister indicated that streets will be paved also in Bakolo. Additional street pavement will be done in Banga, Bon County. Pavement of streets in Kakata will continue, and in Ganta and Sanikwele there will be street pavement as well. More so, in Grand Jida County, 1.6 to 1.8 kilometers of the city streets that have not been paved will be paved. City streets will also be paved in Greenville, in Cester, in Fishtown, in Bagleyville, and in Maryland County. And the Ministry of Agriculture has started the distribution of a second batch of 200,000 Kenyan pepper seeds to farmers, stepping up effort to expand commercial production and position Liberia for entry into the international pepper market. Each farmer received 5,000 seeds through the Smallholder Agriculture Transformation and Agribusiness Revitalization Project STAR-P with support from the International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD. The latest distribution follows 400,000 seeds distributed in May, bringing the total to 600,000 Kenyan pepper seeds. And already there are encouraging signs in the field, and some farmers who benefited from the first batch are reportedly flowering pepper plants. Agriculture Minister Dr. Nuta says the government's initiative is designed to develop canned pepper as a high-value commercial crop, create new income opportunities for farmers, and link production directly to identified market. Potential buyers in Turkey and China have already expressed interest in sourcing Liberian-grown cannabis. The ministry.
Information Minister Jeremy Piat saying the National Transit Authority will on Friday officially commission 60 newly acquired vehicles purchased by the government of Liberia. The chairman of the Liberia People's Democratic Party, Moses Colley, has praised President Joseph Boakai leadership, describing his administration as one that promotes consultation and good governance. Speaking at an interview, Colley, who campaigned against the Unity Party during the 2023 elections, said the outcome of the election must be respected and acknowledge President Boakai as Liberia's democratically elected president. Colley said, based on his experience in government, including the civil service, legislature, and executive branch, President Boakai has demonstrated leadership by consulting ministers and senior officials before making major decisions.
support the government. In 2023, I vigorously campaigned against the present administration. It was my political leader, General Alex Tyler, Senator of Bomi, that actually took exit because of this agreement with the very coalition we had. So he supported, the administration. But how be it? We went to the elections and the United Party won. Ambassador Boga became the president. He's not the president. So when you ask about governance, Clarence, I see real governance. I see proper governance because I've had the opportunity to serve in both the legislature and that of the executive. That's the advantage I have in public service right now. First, I was a civil servant for 11 years, in tax collector. I went in the legislature for 12 years, and I came to executive for 6 years. So to see the president, I was telling my colleague the other time, the lieutenants of the president, ministers, directors, assistant director, deputy minister, they have access to the president where they present their projects, their plans, how they are managing the sector. And that's why the president will speak authoritatively as if he's seated at that place. So I see that the president is providing good leadership. He listens to his lieutenants. Not everyone making decisions all over on their own, And so if we were to look at real governance, I would get plus because I will never had the opportunity to support the government. In 2023, I vigorously campaigned against.
Moses Koli also blamed internal disagreements within the Coalition for Democratic Change for the party's defeat in the 2023 general election. According to Koli, divisions, lack of unity, and the failure to include coalition partners in key government positions weakened the city seat and contributed to its loss at the polls.
Our defeat was because of in-house fight, the crane mentality, the fact that you were from the National Patriotic Party or you're from the Liberal Democratic Party, you were considered not be an insider of the coalition. Having provided guidance, the success story. So you could not even hear about Toka Gabriel McIntyre, you couldn't hear about Alex Tyler, the James Barney. These are people that came together to provide, guidance. So, in fact, what happened? Immediately we were forming government. When you said me, you come from NPP, you come from the LPDP, they will ask you, I'm telling you today, this is a story that more Liberians do not know. They will ask you, oh man, they don't know where you got a job, you got to come to fill in form for the Congress. But those are things that we care to ourselves. I was in the virtue of the coalition. I was a virtue of the I provided direction as it relates to the convention. I oversaw that. I distributed every logistic of the then coalition at the time in 2017. But the very day we declared winner, if you saw then president, senator at the time, at the balcony of the party headquarters crying, we walked at the back of the office. It was J. Cyril Allen, it was the late Mabudu Nipa, and Councillor Charles Gibson. Mabudu asked me, said, Chikoli, you need to call meeting tomorrow immediately to see how we can put the government together. The first word that came from Councillor Gibson, who is a congressman. No. We have won. The president is the president now. We cannot dictate to him. Come on. Why the president Boakai gave that privilege to national leaders that help him to produce a government or to award the presidency. He gave them that privilege to recommend how the government should be structured. That's why you call government. Do you know that the MPP did not have one cabinet government? One cabinet minister in the government? No one. What led to our defeat was because of in-house fight.
The chairman of the Liberia People's Democratic Party, Moses Koli, that praising President Joseph Boakai leadership, describing his administration as one that promotes consultation and good governance. At this time, we go to Luke Joe for the Passion of Last Post. Luke, good evening.
Good evening, Oliver. Liberia Football Association has established a 3-member investigative panel to examine the circumstances that led to Liberia non-participation in the 2026-2027 CAF Men Interclub competitions. The panel, headed by Liberia Football Association Tier Vice President Judy Rare-Seaton, with support from Executive Committee members F.A. Salif and Usman Tor, with investigative proceedings involving Liberia clubs including Watanka FC and Black Men Warriors. The committee has been tasked with identifying any administrative failures, determining responsibility, and providing recommendations to prevent similar situations in the future. It had been 3 days beginning October 4 to complete its investigation and submit a report to the Liberian Football Association Executive Committee. The Liberia National Third Division League playoffs are expected to begin on August 7, 2026 at the Doris Williams Sports Stadium in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. 8 clubs from across Liberia have qualified to the competition after emerging from regional playoffs, including Phoebe United from Bon County, Ban United from Nima County, Thunder FC from Magibi County, Quincy FC from Magibi County, G Force FC from River G County, Jida FC from Grand Jida County, Kotu FC from Mosrado County, and Tibet FC from Mosrado County. The team will compete in a home away playoff format with 5 clubs securing promotion to the Liberia Football Association Second Division for the upcoming football season. Football fans across the country are rallied and getting prepared to witness the showdown in Liberia. The Liberia National Handball Association have announced that the country's senior national handball team will travel to Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso on August 28 to compete in the 2026 Zone 3 Championship. The regional tournament will take place from September 2 to the 6th, with Liberia joining 7 other Zone 3 nations, including Benin, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Ghana, Niger, Nigeria, and Togo. The championship offers another opportunity for Liberia to gain valuable international experience, test and strength against top regional opponents, and continue promoting the growth of handballs on the continent. Lastly, Liberia International Terry TSL delivered another impressive performance, opening the score for Costa del Sol, securing a convincing 3-0 victory over Fariville de la Cala in the 12th round of the 2026 Mokabulat season. The speedy winger wasted no time making his mark, finding the back of the nerve in the 8 minutes to give Costa del Sol an early advantage. Just 2 minutes later, Karen doubled the lead before Kamubo Junior sealed the victory with a late scratch in the 90 minutes. The result strengthens Costa del Sol campaign, while TSL continued to demonstrate his attacking quality with another influential display in the Mozambique top league. That's post.
Thanks to Luke Joe Dead for the Passion of Life post, and this is a regular featured on this point. We take on more stories. The government of Liberia has announced that parents will no longer pay registration fees for children enrolling in public private schools across the country. The new policy, which covers students from kindergarten through 6th grade, is aimed at removing financial barriers that prevent some families from sending their children to school and increasing access to basic education ahead of the new academic year. Speaking during an interview on state radio, Education Minister Dr. Jasu Jala said the decision reflects President Joseph Boakar's administration commitment to making education more accessible, affordable, and inclusive for all Liberian children.
When I say that this government has delivered for the Liberian people is that coming this school year, if a child is in public school, in primary school, kindergarten 6th to 6th grade, when we say primary school, no student will be required to pay registration fees. Wow. You parents, we're asking you, take the children to school. If there is any school that is asking you, public school, to pay registration fee, report that to the Ministry of Education. Then we have a number out that we will be taking information from the field. These interns that we will have across the country will be taking that information as well. But this is big for the Republic of Liberia. And I brought my act, which I use Bible, the Education Act, to highlight the importance of what this means and what it means for parents. And so I will read this so that it's clear. Any parent who, without just cause and after a written notice from the school requiring the compliance, fails to comply with the free and compulsory attendance requirement of this act is guilty of misdemeanor under the penal law of Liberia. So if you do not take your kids to school and you do not have a reason, a qualified reason for why this child is not in school, you are guilty of a misdemeanor under the penal law according to the Education Act. So make sure you send your children to school. That's the only way we can develop Liberia, if we acquire the education that is needed. And it has to start at the foundation. And this is going to be funded by the Excel project and the school grants that will be dispersed to schools across the country. In addition to registration fees, there are a lot of other things that this school grant across all of our public schools at the primary level will cover at this time. So I want you to, parents, to know when your child is going to school, if they are in kindergarten through 6th grade, they will not need to pay registration fees. When I say that this government has delivered.
The government of Liberia is announcing that parents will no longer pay registration fees for children enrolling in public primary schools across the country. Former Maghibli County Senator Roland Khan has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to Maghibli County Coordinator in the office of Senator Emmanuel Nikwe, Vande Kumar, demanding a retraction and public apology over allegations that can't kill university students and young children. Speaking to journalists in an interview on Tuesday, August 4, Khan described the statement as false and damaging, warning that the matter has already been turned over to his legal team for possible court action. Khan alleged that Senator Nikwe instructed Vanda Kumar to attack his character, announcing that he is prepared to seek legal redress if the statements are not withdrawn within the given time frame.
Yeah, Nugwe is honorable anyway, but I feel that he's quite history right now. He's going to go out. And then he got one guy who called Vande coming to start insulting people, making false allegation, falsehood to blackmail me. And that's why I cannot get to the extent of getting to debate with Vande. The matter is before my lawyer. My lawyer is taking this matter to court. And sooner or later, Vande will be served the appropriate measure ensuring that this is curtailed. And again, I want to understand one thing. My lawyer asked for 72 hours. Vande did not receive the letter. Today, we are taking it to his office, the PUP office. When Vande refuses to accept the letter like the last time, then now we have no option, no alternative but to pursue the matter of court. But the effort is the lawyer has sent a memo from his office to go and deliver it to the PUP office or the senator's office. And so I got nothing to do with that. We're just waiting to see, to come back to say Vande. And Vande has it right now to accept the letter. We will pursue further. We're going to go to court. We only did that to see if there was room where Vande will regret his action to come and apologize for it. Whatever he says, he has the right to say whatever. And we have our right to pursue it to court further. Yeah, Nugwe is honorable.
Khan also challenged the Maghibli County Senator's academic credentials, calling for a public debate on issues affecting the country. That's the county, including the senator's leadership and development record.
Call him. The evidence is on my phone. I call him. And you know, one thing about this Android phone, they keep records. The records there when I call him, he will not answer. And if he doesn't answer, then you go and get one guy who in the corner comes start abusing me. I'm not going to follow that guy. It's Nugwe that I want. Nugwe is educated. Nugwe says he's a lawyer. I challenge his credential. Let him come and face me. Challenge his credential. Somebody cannot come and defend him. I am challenging Nugwe credential. He's a lawyer. Let him come and face me in debate or at the radio station, wherever. I will prove my capability and my competence. I, Roland Khan, serve as representative senator. I, Roland Khan, serve as ECOWAS parliamentarian. I, Roland Khan, serve a couple of times as delegation here for ECOWAS. I'm prepared to defend it and I will dismiss it. You now will make your decision and be able to make a determination. We are now proving qualification and capability. I have the capability to do that. No way.
That's the voice of former Maghibli County Senator Roland Khan there speaking. The Director General of the Civil Society Agency, Josiah Joker, has announced that more than 100 people have already subscribed to the agency newly launched monthly newsletter. Speaking Wednesday during the official launch of the CSA monthly newsletter at the Dr. C. William Allen Conference Room in Concord Town, Joka said the publication will be distributed nationwide as part of efforts to improve communication and information sharing within Liberia's civil service sector. Joka also emphasized the importance of collaboration with media institutions, noting that the newsletter will complete the work of journalists by providing reliable information about developments within the civil service.
One of the things we do at the CSA, Honorable Minister, is that we do not allow people to tell our stories too much. We have media institutions, they help project it, they help relay, they help translate, but the content comes from us, and they have the right to take it from the angles they want to take it. But we are very mindful to ensure that we communicate what we do in the civil service and for the civil service to keep the public informed, to disabuse people's minds of all the misconceptions, all the erroneous information, the gossips, and so forth that continue to undermine the kind of work that we do. Mr. Minister, we are mindful of that. And so our website is one of the most effective websites of government institutions. In fact, we have a virtual agent on our website. The moment you open it, you can open it on your computer. And all you need to do, ask that virtual agent the kind of information you're looking for from the CSC. The virtual agent will provide you the information. If you want to know who's the Director General, if you want to know what the standing order is about, you want to know different components of the order, the human resource policy management, and our website is updated regularly. We also all the work that we do, the progress we've made, the challenges, and the actions we take to surmount those challenges. We also have our annual report that we never miss out on since the start of this administration. Our annual report is regular. It comes out, in fact, by December, it's out, and then we make sure that all the information about the year captured, the reason for which you and the rest of the people are here is the launch of our monthly newsletter. Mr. Minister, this newsletter is going to be going far and wide. Right now, we have more than 200 subscribers. Just before we already have 200 plus subscribers. You can imagine when you launch your official. I have listed all of these structures of communications, the way we engage the public, to let you know that we have a complete communication framework. It's well structured. It's not by accident, and we have it well structured, and that's a regime that is working effectively. So to just cap it, Mr. Minister, that's why we invited you and others to come and launch. One of the
Meanwhile, President of the Presidency of Liberia, Julius Konuba, urged the CSA to ensure that the publication reflects the agency's commitment to openness and good governance.
Our congratulations to the Civil Service Agency for the launch of this newsletter. Today marks not just the unveiling of a new newsletter, but the beginning of a new chapter in strengthening communication, transparency, and accountability within Liberia Civil Service. This newsletter is designed with purpose from what we've learned. It is stated that the newsletter will provide timely updates on reforms, policies, and programs of the CSA. It will serve as a platform for knowledge sharing and professional development among civil servants, and it will strengthen engagement between government institutions, civil servants, and the citizens that the public service serves. Allow me to highlight some of the key messages that I believe are going forward should be embodied in this monthly newsletter of the CSA. 1. Transparency and accountability. This newsletter should demonstrate the CSA's unwavering commitment to openness in governance, ensuring that reforms and decisions are communicated clearly to all stakeholders. 2. Capacity building. This newsletter, through articles and features, should showcase training opportunities, innovations, and best practices, ensuring that civil servants are able to learn from shared experiences and success stories. 3. Recognition and motivation. This newsletter should highlight outstanding civil servants and institutions, fostering a culture of excellence and integrity in public service. The 4th point is citizens' engagement. This newsletter to ensure that citizens gain accessible information about the civil service reforms, building trust by ensuring how policies directly impact service delivery. The broader impact of this initiative initiative should be profound by strengthening Liberia's governance architecture by promoting professionalism in the civil service. It should position the CSA as a credible institution driving reform and modernization, and ultimately it should contribute.
That's the voice of the president of the Press Union of Liberia, urging CSA to ensure that the publication reflects the agency commitment to openness and good governance. Earlier on, listened to the Director General of the Civil Service Agency, Josiah Joka, there announcing that more than 200 have already subscribed to the agency's newly launched monthly newsletter. With this, we come to the end of today's edition of News Point. It has been a production of the News and Current Affairs Department at the Blaze Communications Network Incorporated. Institutions in connection with the ongoing investigation into the country's largest cocaine seizures case. National Transit Authority expected to commission 60 newly acquired vehicles to enhance the movement of citizens across Liberia. In foreign news, Nigerian President Tinubu announces additional financial support for members of the armed forces battling growing security challenges across the country. Thanks to all of you for your listening role. Many thanks to Stephen Talu, who was here with the news bulletin. Thanks to Luke Joe, who brought in a passion of live sports. Clifton Rennie sat at control and coordinated the entire program. On behalf of the entire production team here at the Blaze Communications Network Incorporated, my name is Oliver McIntosh, our presenter. Good evening. Bye-bye.